I am freaking pumped. This live stream is going to be epic. I feel like I don't say that very often, so I'm not just saying it for the sake of saying it. This is actually going to be an epic live stream, promise. Because I've been thinking about this topic a lot. It's funny because I pick my topics like a decent amount in advance, and so I've known I was going to talk about this for a while. But then when I looked at it this morning, I had this totally different take and download on it. So I'm super excited to share that. Brandy says boots are important. Girl, they are, and they were real cute. And I just needed to have them. Paula, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you, or not see you, but be with you. Okay, so I want to start by reading this quote that I'm stupid obsessed with right now. I feel bad for anyone that talked to me today because there's no way I didn't read you this quote. But I promise I have a point and it's life-changing. Hey, Natalia, thank you for joining me. Okay, so here's the quote. Are you all ready? I feel like I've almost never, you guys know I'm a quote person, especially if you watch Happy Thoughts. I'm quoting shit all the time. I feel like I've almost never resonated with something I read more deeply and felt like, oh my God, this is everything I teach. And so I want to read this to you to kind of preface this and provide context about what I'm going to teach you for the rest of the live stream, right? So here's the quote. It is, having money and things is not as important as mastering the process of creating them. I'm going to say that one more time. Having money and things is not as important as mastering the process of creating them. Boom. That is everything I teach my clients is master your process and then you feel untouchable. Master your sales process and then you feel absolutely unstoppable. You feel like if your whole business burned down tomorrow, that you would just start a new one and do the same process, right? Christina, I said, if you've talked to me today, I've already told you this. So I apologize to everyone who's already talked to me today, but it's important context for what I'm about to tell you, which is that the process matters so deeply. If you feel like you have your process in your business mastered, you feel so powerful and so confident, even when there's a problem to solve or things are feeling tough or whatever. And when you don't have that process mastered, everything feels hard and it feels scary and it feels uncertain and it feels like you're not sure and you don't actually know how to bring in clients and create results, et cetera, right? So today we're going to talk about mastering the process. Okay. Paula says, wow, that quote rings so true, right? It just hits me. Every time I read it, I'm like, yes, right? So this live stream is for everybody. Whether you've said this or not, but especially for the people who have said, if someone would just tell me how, I would do it. If someone would just tell me how, I would do it. Who's familiar with that? It really goes along with the live stream I did last week. If you didn't watch that, it's a goodie, which was why you don't need more accountability. And we talked a lot about how what you need is to step into that CEO role, right? You don't need someone telling you what to do, holding you accountable, pushing you every step of the way. But on the other hand, I think something that one of my clients actually said to me recently, and I told her name's Maya, and I told her I was going to quote her everywhere forever on this because it was so good. And she said, one of the things you helped me realize is that information is very different than strategy. And I just thought that was the most brilliant way to explain it. Information is different than strategy, right? So that's where a lot of us get stuck. If I just knew what to do, So we're looking for more information. We're information hungry. More. We're never turning it into strategy. We're never deciding on a strategy from that information and picking it, sticking to it, and executing to it, right? So today I'm going to tell you how to pick, stick to, and execute on a strategy. Cool? Because I don't want you to just have information. I want you to have a strategy because that is what is actually going to get you results. It's what's going to get you in action. It's what's going to get you executing. Just knowing more shit actually paralyzes you more. Like if you, I've probably said this on the live stream before because it's so fucking true, but if you like know a ton about different diets and different things like that, you almost get to a point where you feel like, well, I can't eat anything but kale, right? Everything but kale is unhealthy because this mentality says this is bad and this mentality says this is bad. And what, like the only thing we all agree on is that kale is healthy, basically, right? And that's what happens with information overload, is that you're paralyzed. You feel like you can only eat kale, right? You feel like there's like nothing you can do in your business that someone isn't saying to do something different, which is the difference between information and strategy. Does that make sense? Brandy said, I've said that exact thing often. I love that. Christina says she's totally wanted people to tell her what to do. I get it. We've all been there. Thank you, Alicia. Cool, cool. Okay, so does everybody agree with that? Information is different than strategy. Can you give me an emoji if that is true for you, or if you've gotten stuck in the I need more information trap? Because like, I think we've all been there, especially if we're like educated, high performers, etc. Like we're used to more information equals more, right? And in online business, that's not always true. Sometimes more information just paralyzes you and confuses you, right? Michelle says, love the headline. That definitely got my attention. Good, good. Brandy said, yes, I just had this aha. Recently, I overthought so many things because I had too much info. For sure. My big toe is still stuck. Too funny. Okay, amazing. So we got that quote, which is like, you want to master the process. Plus, we know that information is different than strategy. So here's exactly what you need to do. And before I tell you exactly what you need to do, here's the other thing I want to tell you. You may not like it. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? I think that there's so much stuff in this space that says it should always feel good. It should always be easy. It should never feel hard. And here's what I'm going to tell you. What I'm about to share with you is actually very, very simple. I'm going to share with you the exact way to create big results, and it's pretty simple. What's really fucking hard is getting out of your own way enough to do it and stick to it. Cool. So we'll talk about that at the end a little bit. I actually want to show you guys something that I took a screenshot of today. I'm going to make a post about it, but I think it's relevant here because it's going to go into this. I mean, you're not going to be able to read that, but I'm just going to show you. This is like a screenshot from an Insta story of this fashion blogger that I like. And basically people were asking her a bunch of questions and she was answering them. And someone said to her, and she probably has, I don't even know, like 500,000 followers and like travels around the world like all the time, right? And someone asked her, how many hours a day on average goes toward blogging in your job? Her job being blogging. And she said, when I'm traveling, which seems so fun, like she was in Greece recently, right? When I'm traveling, I would say I work upwards of 90 hours a week. When I'm home, I would say 50 to 60 hours per week. I try really hard to be present and spend time with my husband in the evenings, but as soon as my husband goes to sleep, I go back to work. Now, I'm not sharing that to say, oh my God, you have to work so hard. I'm sharing that to say that what I'm about to share is going to take effort and energy. And I want to be clear that anyone that's getting big results, whether that's as a coach, as a blogger, as an influencer, even if they seem like they're just having fun and traveling around the world all the time, they are putting energy and effort into it, because that's how we create even energy exchange. And that's how we get results back. Someone said to me recently something about like, yeah, I mean, I could do a Facebook group, but that takes like a lot of energy. And I was like, right. You also want a really big result, so it's going to take energy. So the reason I'm prefacing this is not to say you have to be like her and work 50 to 60 hours a week. I don't even work that much, or that much is what I mean. I work a decent amount. I'd say I probably work 40 hours a week, right? But my point is that there is no thing, even if it seems like, God, she's got it made. She must have the life. She travels all the time. All she does is post cute outfits. Like, she's still putting in the energy and effort. So again, the stuff I'm about to share with you may feel like, oh, I'd have to put energy into that. Damn right. Do you want to have results that most people don't have? Do you want to, I mean, like some of my clients have gone from 0 to $250,000 or oh my God, I can't speak. $0 to $500,000 in 9 months. Guess what? It takes energy and effort, but it pays off and it doesn't have to feel awful. It does not have to feel terrible and hard and miserable, but it does take energy. So let's dive in with all of that context in mind. I love how I spent like 15 minutes providing context, but it's because it's kind of simple. So the first thing you absolutely have to do to create big results is you have to get your mindset in check. Literally every single fucking day, you have to be working your mindset, right? For most people, that's the thing that goes. When they get busy, when they feel full, or when things are crazy, mindset work is the thing that goes. I promise you, if you want big results, if you want the results that are nobody's getting, if you want that fast track, the first thing you have to do is work your mindset. And I literally mean every day, right? And so when I say if someone would just tell me how, I would do it. I'm literally telling you how right this minute. Work your mindset every freaking day. Cool? That's the first thing. And again, because that's easy and it's hard. It's easy to spend 15 minutes saying your affirmations and doing your journaling or whatever your mindset process is. It's kind of easy, right? The hard part is getting out of your own way enough to actually make time and prioritize that, to actually make that a thing. Jen says, can't stick around, but had to say, girl, your hair is on point right now. See, that's why my hair didn't distract me before this live stream. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have to go somewhere after this, so I had to do my hair. It was very useful for my live stream. What's the word? Procrastination. Usually I'm fucking with my hair at the beginning, right? So you have to work your mindset every single day. I'm not talking that you have to spend an hour on it. I am not even saying you have to spend 20 minutes. Like, we're talking you could do it for 10 minutes. But if you're not working your mindset every day, you are not setting yourself up for success. You are not setting yourself up for big results. And here's where I think people get confused about this, is that they think it should be like something that they do and then it's fixed. Like, I fixed this block. I moved through this thing. I feel better now. It is a daily freaking habit. It is a daily freaking process. If your mindset is not getting your attention, all the stuff that we're going to talk about after this doesn't matter. It just doesn't. If you're showing up to any of it with a crappy mindset, what's the point? How many people do you know? I would love to hear this from you guys. I'm sure you've all been there, done that, or had clients like this. Drop an emoji for me, where they're working their ass off and they're not seeing a return, right? Maybe you've been there, maybe it's you, maybe it's someone else. They're doing all the things. Guess what? It's probably their mindset, right? So we're going to talk strategy next. I'm not saying it's the only thing. I am not one of those people that just believes like, you know, sit on your couch and do the mindset work and then everything else works out. But I am also not someone that believes that strategy alone is going to get you anywhere. It has to be both, right? You absolutely have to be working your mindset like a freaking boss. And then you have to have the strategy to match it. And the thing that I want to say about that is that if you're really working your mindset, picking and sticking to a strategy is easy. If you're not working your mindset, you're going to go round and round and round and round and round with strategy and execution all the time. So this has to be the foundation. Cool. So you want someone to tell you what to do? I'm telling you, work your mindset for at least 10 minutes every single day, right? Natalia said, yes, I've started to tell my clients it's like a muscle you have to exercise every day to strengthen. It's also what I'm learning, 100%. And like what I notice is it atrophies if you don't, just like a muscle, right? So if I've been working my mindset and then I stop for 2 weeks or whatever, my brain's going to default to old habits. It's going to start to atrophy. That mindset is not necessarily going to stay in place, right? Can I drop the biggest amen that anyone could drop? I never knew how important mindset was until you. Oh, thank you. Natalia says, yes, I was the strategy queen with no mindset until Lacey came into my life. Yeah. So true. I'm always like, cool. So can we talk about the mindset piece? And it's not that we don't talk about strategy. It's just that We talk about it after. We talk about it in context of. We talk about it as it relates to having an amazing mindset too, right? So like, if you have an amazing mindset, it's easier to pick a strategy that you believe in and can invest in, and that will work. Again, if your mindset is like, I don't know that this is ever going to work, picking and sticking to a strategy, it's just not gonna fucking happen, right? And that's how we get stuck. We keep changing our strategy. We keep getting more information. We keep throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then we're frustrated and we're frustrated and we're frustrated because we're working really hard and we're not seeing a result, right? Barb says, I love that. I'm not the only one. I was like, mindset, nah, just tell me what to do. For sure, right? It was like the title of this live stream. Everyone thinks if somebody would just tell me what to do. It's not true. It is not true. It is never true. And in the context of, here, just go do this one strategy, then everything will work out. Nope. Because we're humans having a human experience. We get in our own way. It's just like, you guys know I've like struggled with like health stuff and I have autoimmune and whatever. And I used to think if someone would just give me a meal plan and an exercise plan, I would just follow it. The fuck I will. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many reasons why that's hard. There's so many reasons why I get in my own way around that. My work is to get rid of all the stuff that's getting in my way so that I can follow that meal plan and that exercise plan. You know what I mean? Like, it's not to go find another meal plan. Like, right? We all do that, whether it's like buying 100 meal plans for $25 from different people on Instagram, or, you know, buying every course that you can possibly get your hands on in business. More information. Tell me what to do. Right? And listen, I'm going to tell you, but what I'm going to tell you is that you have to make it applicable to you. So the mindset piece, right? Do mindset work daily no matter what. Figure out how that applies to you. What mindset work do you like? What works for you? What's the best for you? What gets you high vibe, right? The next piece is get your strategy clear. Get super fucking clear on a strategy. For me, what I am always recommending to people is get on a bunch of free calls and convert them. Doesn't have to be yours. Yours might be different and it might look different. And certainly I mean that for people that are new. I don't mean that for people, I have a lot of clients that are already making 10K and have been in business. So that's not necessarily the strategy we're using, but do great work, get on free calls, convert from those calls. I really mean it's that simple, y'all. If you're good at what you do and you're getting on calls with people and you get good at converting those calls, you are untouchable. You are unstoppable. I feel like so secure in this business because I know a few things for sure. I know how to book calls. And I know if you got on a call with me tomorrow, you would have an amazing experience and you would want to hire me. I am rock solid positive about that, which goes back to that quote that I read at the beginning, which I'm going to read again because I'm addicted and I can't stop. And because if you weren't here at the beginning, I need for you to hear it, which is having money in things is not as important as mastering the process of creating them. Having money in things is not as important as mastering the process of creating them. I am way more concerned with the fact that I have mastered my strategy than I am with the fact that I get clients. Because I know this business could burn down tomorrow and I know what I'm good at. I am stellar at talking to people. I'm so good at the work that I do. I am excellent at converting. So if I want to go sell essential oils tomorrow and burn this business down, guess what? I'm just going to go apply that same process and I'm going to fucking kill it, right? You know what I mean? So for you guys thinking if someone would just tell me what to do, what I want you to do is do great work. Get really good at the work you do. Get on free calls, get a sales process set up from there, sell super, super consistently, and that's it. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, right? If you're not full with clients, your time should be full with free calls and sales. That's the whole game. That's your strategy. If you're not full with clients, your time should be full of free calls and sales. And listen, I'm being very generic right now. Certainly it depends on what you're selling in your business model, but you get what I mean, right? Like we gotta simplify our strategy and we gotta go all in on one. Like I cannot stand when people are like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Put all your goddamn eggs in that basket when you're starting your business until you have a replicable process, and then you can build another basket, right? At the beginning of your business, you need to put all your eggs in one basket. You need to pick one strategy and go all the way in. Guess what helps that mindset? Doing your mindset work every day certainly helps you to go all in on one strategy and stick to it. I have so many clients that come to me that have spent so long working really hard in their businesses because they've been doing like 17 different strategies. And almost all of the work we do together is refining down to one sales process, one strategy, and then doing the metric fuck ton of mindset work to stay invested in that and not change the strategy and to keep testing and tweaking and keep making it work. And I will tell you 100% of them are like, thank fucking God I hired you and you made me do that, because I would still be doing all the things all the time. Thank God I showed up and did the mindset work and let the strategy be easy, because if not, I would be doing all the work all the time, right? So when I say, if someone would just tell me what to do, I am literally telling you, pick a strategy, get good at what you do, make it a well-oiled machine, go all the freaking way in on it, right? Like, again, I'm a big fan of free calls and setting up a super consistent sales process where you feel like you can convert like a boss, but that might not be the exact perfect thing for you. But basically, if you're not full with clients, you should be full with free calls and you should be full doing sales activities all the time, right? Brandy says, yes, you are in my head with stick with something for 90 days. And I just committed to the showing up strategy at the moment. Exactly. Like I said this on Happy Thoughts, but I'm going to say it here again because it's like so relevant, which is like, I could eat healthy for a week and I still don't have abs. You know what I mean? Which is like such a bummer, but it's just true. I could eat super healthy for a week and I still don't have abs. That doesn't mean that next week I have to eat even healthier, even more perfectly, or now work out for 3 hours a day. What it means is I have to rinse and repeat that week of healthy eating for like the next 90 days or whatever until it gets me the result I want. But if I'm like, well, I ate healthy this week as a vegan and I didn't get abs, and so next week I'm going to eat healthy on keto and see if it gets me abs, and then the next week I'm going to try paleo, because like I'm never going to get the result. And that's what most of us are doing in our business. So we're doing something for a very short period of time, seeing if it gets us the result, and then immediately changing. We're never letting a strategy play out. And by the way, we're never getting to the point where we test and tweak the strategy, right? I was at a conference this week or last weekend, and I was talking to one of the women there about her sales process, and she was like, yeah, my sales process just totally isn't working. And I was like, cool, tell me about it. And basically she was like, well, I get a lot of interest. I get people on calls. I even get them to say yes on calls a lot, but like they're never, or not never, but like a lot of times they're not following through and paying and signing the contract. And I was like, so what the freak do we mean your sales process isn't working? It's working for like the first 15 steps. There's like one step at the end that isn't working. Meanwhile, she's coming to this conference because she's like, oh, I'm changing up everything I'm doing in my business. It's not working. I'm not making sales. I'm like, so no, your entire sales process is working really well up to the point where we need to figure out what to do at the end to make sure they book. And she was like, oh my God, I was literally just about to change everything I was doing because it was such black or white thinking. It's either working or it's not. Well, this is why we have to pick a strategy and go all in on it, because we have to get to that point where we're just making little tweaks each part of the way. So her whole flipping sales process is working except for that one piece at the end. We just got to fix that. So again, if someone would just tell me what to do and how to do it, work your mindset every day, pick one strategy and go all in for 90 days. Whole game, right? Okay, so here's the last thing. Execute daily. This is the part a lot of people don't like, you guys. Show up for your business every single fucking day. Every day. And again, that's the part a lot of people don't like. It's not the sexy part. It's not the part that feels like a shiny object. It's not the part that feels like a magic bullet. But I promise you, there is no way that you could show up in your business every day, work your mindset every day, and have a clear strategy and not get big results. It is literally freaking impossible. I promise you, if you're not getting big results, you're not doing one of those things. If you're doing all of those things, you're getting results. You may have a time gap. You may need that 90 days to let the result play out, but it's absolutely impossible to have a great mindset that you're working every day, to have a clear strategy that you're going to go all the way in on, and to execute daily in your business and not see phenomenal results from it. Now, is that like the most sexy? No. Is it the best way? Is it the easiest way? Is it the way that's going to actually give you a sustainable, replicable process in your business? Fuck yeah, it is, right? Nicole says the 90 days in executing daily is the make or break. The 90 days in executing daily is the make or break. Nicole, are you agreeing with me or are you asking a question? I'm pretty sure you're just agreeing with me, but I'm also not trying to be like, thanks for agreeing with me and then ignoring your question. So just tell me if that's true. Right? So like when I say execute daily, you guys, I don't mean it has to be like you're all in on your business every day. I mean, even if you're spending 15 minutes every day, like you are still moving the needle further. If you're spending 15 minutes a day on the same strategy for 90 days and you're in a good mindset space, there's 0% chance that you're not going to get results. You're agreeing with me. Okay, perfect. The place that you're not going to get results is when your mindset is shitty and so you're doing a bunch of stuff that you don't actually believe is going to work, or when you're doing a ton of different stuff and not going all in on one thing, or when you're paralyzed and not doing any of it. Those are the things that are going to make it not work. For real. When you're paralyzed, it's when you're in that place of like, oh my God, all I can eat is kale kind of thing that we talked about. Or when you're doing all the things, okay, I'm going to be vegan this week, paleo next week, and keto the week after. Or when you're doing a bunch of things that you just don't freaking believe are going to work. When you're going, well, Lacey said to get on free calls, so I'm going to get on free calls, but truthfully, I think there's no chance they're going to convert. Those are the only 3 places that you're going to keep yourself stuck, right? Yes, definitely agree. Thank you, Nicole. Those are it. You know what I mean? And so again, when it's like, if someone would just tell me how, I would do it. That's exactly how. Work on your mindset every day. Go all in on one strategy for 90 days. Show up in your business daily. Execute to that strategy. And by the way, if your mindset is good, you're naturally going to execute to it. If you're not executing, your mindset is not in the right place. Like, does that make sense? Like, if I really believe this business is going to be successful and this strategy is going to work, my action or my decision will always dictate my action. If I for real fucking believe those things are true, there's no way I'm not taking the action. If I'm not taking the action, it's a fair chance that I don't believe one of those things are true and I have some work to do there, right? Brandy says, also by making that commitment to be consistent, it gave clarity to other pieces of showing up in content. Totally, right? Because you were all in on something, so you had to figure it out. Like that sales process we were talking about. How do you get to the point where someone's even getting a contract so that you know you have to figure out how to get them to follow through with it? Well, you have to get all the other pieces in place, right? I think that so often we take such a black and white result or black and white thinking to our business results, like it's either working or it's not working. When usually it's like one piece of the process isn't working. One thing needs our attention. Mindset needs our attention, not our entire strategy and execution plan, or vice versa, right? Brandy said like the how for other things magically showed up by showing up, if that makes sense. 100% it makes sense. Because you got committed. It's like that Rumi quote, I love, what you seek is seeking you. When you get committed to what you're seeking and you go all in on that, suddenly those things start seeking you back, right? Totally makes sense. You know, I think that the thing I want to say about this is everyone wants these huge results. But the truth is, if you want huge results, if you want to make multi-6 figures, if you want to make 7 figures, it is going to take an incredibly solid plan and effort. It's going to take energy. And I think what happens is there are kind of like 2 camps. people that feel like it should always be easy and shouldn't take like energy and effort, or people that are willing to do all the things and work all the time. Neither have to be true. Big results take energy and effort, but it doesn't have to be icky, all-consuming effort if you're doing it right. So again, work your mindset for 15 minutes a day. Get clear on a strategy you can go all the way in on. Again, I'm a big fan of sales process and free calls, but whatevs. And then show up in your business every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes to execute on that strategy. If you rinse and repeat that process, you don't have to work for 60 hours a week, but you got to work. You know what I mean? This is exactly how to do it, you guys. There's no other secret, but are you willing to show up for that? Are you willing to do the work and get out of your own way enough to do it, right? That's the whole game. How do I pick my thing? How do I show up and do the work? And how do I get out of my freaking way enough to do it? How do I stop second guessing myself along the way, right? Jennifer says, love that, perfect. This is all I've ever done in my business to create big results, to be at multi-six figures, to sign clients with ease, to do all of that. But when I say sign clients with ease, I mean that I have a rock fucking solid belief that clients sign up with me. I have an exact strategy that I know I'm executing to, and I'm showing up and executing in my business every effing day, right? That is all I'm doing to create results. It is not something complicated. It is not these super fancy funnels. It is not whatever. I mean, I can't even think of like all the things. It's not more courses. It's not, it is just that. And it is such a gift to give myself that, to do that mindset work, to pick the strategy, to show up for it, because that actually is ease. That's ease. Doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that sometimes I don't have to get the F out of my own way to keep doing that. It doesn't mean that I don't have to work my mindset like a boss every day, but it's ease. I know it works. I know it's going to keep working. I know what to show up for. I know what I'm doing when I sit down to work. You know what I mean? That's ease. Doesn't mean that I don't work 40 hours a week. It doesn't mean that I don't put energy and effort into stuff. Hell yeah, I do. And guess what? That feels good to me. I love the work I do. I am lit up by this business. So it feels good to me to put in the energy and effort. It feels good to me to show up. That's what people mean about let it be easy, let it feel good. Doesn't mean that every step feels good. Doesn't mean that it never feels hard. It doesn't mean that you don't have to do the, metric fuck ton of work to get out of your own way. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to feel new and scary, right? But ease means you know what you're doing. You know what you're showing up for. You know how to get the results you want. Feeling good means it inherently feels good to do the work that you're doing, but y'all, it's still work. You know what I mean? It's still work. It still takes energy. It still takes effort. So again, like that's what you have to do. I don't have a single client that's making bank and is successful that isn't putting in a lot of energy and effort and also loving it. You know what I mean? Like those don't have to fight with each other, right? Those get to live together. Like, yeah, of course I'm going to put in the energy and effort because I love this. You know what I mean? Nicole says, great breakdown, work smart, not hard. Exactly. The whole point is you want to create a well-oiled machine. Again, back to that quote of, but knowing the process is more important than getting the thing. This is what I want you guys to take away is like, know your process, lean into your process, fine tune your process, right? Like figure out what in your process is not working. Do you need mindset? Do you need strategy? Do you need execution? What can you test and tweak? What can you lean into here? This is the thing. This is how you're going to get results, right? Nicole says, when you take a big step back and look at it on a broader scale, repetition is needed to perform any sport or agile movement consistently well and make it look natural. It definitely carries over to business, 100%. And that's why business is easy for me right now, truthfully, because I'm 3 years and 3 months in. So I've been rinsing and repeating this thing for a while. I've been making it a more and more well-oiled machine every year. but it's because I've been primarily doing a lot of the same things over and over again. I haven't really changed my strategy year over year or all that much. Frankly, all we really do is rinse and repeat the same strategy and maybe add to it a little bit each year, maybe add an income stream each year. But that's it. And that's why it's easy now. That's why it feels good. That's why it's not difficult or doesn't take a lot of thought. And it's not because we're not evolving. It's because we're getting better at the thing instead of always learning and trying to do new things. The thing is working. I'm going to keep working it. You know what I mean? And then if something stops working, we're going to figure that out and we're going to test and tweak it and we're going to make an adjustment. You know what I mean? But that is how you get into flow. That's how you get into ease. That's how you make things easier. And it's truthfully, it's just always, always, always how you get big results. And again, like this isn't the sexiest thing where it's like, oh, just put out one post that's vulnerable and then you have a 30K month. Could that happen? Sure. Is that the thing though? No. People that are going, copy my one post that made me 30K, guess what? I for freaking sure bet you that they were working their mindset, that they had been consistently using a strategy and building relationships, and that they were probably executing by posting really, really consistently. You know what I mean? So that's what I want you to take away from this, is that there is a process to like what you should do and how to get exactly what you want. And it kind of combines all those things, but you have to decide what's my mindset work, what's my strategy, and how am I going to show up and execute every day. And if you do those things and if you do them consistently, there's no way you're not going to get results. I literally promise you there is no possible way, right? So I hope that was helpful. I hope that, you know, that felt a little bit like a kick in the pants and it's helping you see, what can I do different? What am I missing? So I would love to know, if you're listening or if you're watching the replay, what's the piece you want to commit to going even more in on? Like, what's the piece that you've maybe been neglecting or missing? What can you give your attention to get what you want? So like, what do you need to do now? Like, tell me, I want to hear, what do you need to do to get the big result you want? Cool. So tell me if you're watching now or if you're watching the replay. I want to hear that too. I do want to tell you guys about something really quick, and then I want to just say one other thing. But I'm doing a free challenge in this group starting November 5th. It's going to be really fun. I'm super excited about it. I've already done a lot of the content for it, and I love it. It's called the Money Making Machine Challenge, because I'm so stuck on this concept that it's the process that matters, and I want it to feel like a well-oiled machine. I feel so confident and secure in my business because it does feel like a well-oiled money-making machine. I know my process, I know how to get clients, I have belief in it, and I execute to it. That's it. And that's exactly what I want to teach you in this challenge, is how to do that, how to literally like fucking master this mindset, strategy, and execution piece, and to turn your business into a well-oiled money-making machine, so that you're not constantly doing all the things or getting paralyzed and doing none of them, so that you're coming from that place of like, my mastery of the process is what gets me my results. I don't even have to worry about the results because I'm a master of the process, right? Brandeis is committing to consistency and showing up daily. I love that. Brandeis, I once read this quote from Bob Proctor, and he said something to the effect of like, imagine if you just spent 15 minutes a day working on yourself. Imagine how different your life would be in a year. And I've always loved that quote because I think that applies to business so much too. Imagine if you just spent 15 minutes a day showing up in your business. How different would your business be in a year? So I love that that's your commitment. Cool. So I would love for you to join me for the challenge. Again, it's really about this. It's going to be like telling you what to do, helping you figure it out, and helping you master the freaking process of making money like a machine instead of doing all or none of the things. So we start November 5th. The link is alituplife.com/money-making-machine. Yeah, /money-making-machine. I'd love for you to join me for that. I really, really want to know what you're committed to, and I really hope this helps, because the thing I want you to walk away from is like, you don't need more information. This is the strategy. This is, tell me how to do it and I will do it. I literally just told you everything you need to know. Everything. None of my clients that are, making, 6 figures, multi-6 figures, 7 figures are doing anything different than this, you guys. There's not some secret that they have that you don't know. They're just doing this like bosses, and they're doing it consistently, and they're continuing to look at what piece is out of alignment and how do I get it back in and how do I keep staying committed. That's it. That's really it. So I hope this was helpful. I'll put in the link here. I just realized I could do that. And then if you're watching now or the replay, let me know if you have any questions. Super happy to answer anything on this. So hope you guys have a beautiful week. I hope you'll join me for the challenge. It's going to be amazing. It's all new content I've never put out before, and it's going to be so good for your business, I promise. So let me know what you focused on, what questions can I answer for you, and I hope you all have an amazing week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.